Say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it. This is where it goes down.
Alright guys, it's time to talk about Power Season 5. I was supposed to do this review a couple of weeks ago, but life got me caught up and I ended up not being able to review it when I wanted to. Season 5 ended like almost a month ago, I think. Might have actually been more than a month ago if I'm being honest, but I'm finally getting a chance to talk about it today, so here we are. And this will be a spoiler review. I'm going to be talking about some things that I just have to talk about because Power Season 5, a lot of shit went down. Every season of Power, something is going down, but especially in Season 5, shit hit the fan, or fan hit the shit, or whatever the phrase or terminology is. A lot of stuff happened this season, and I just couldn't talk about it without spoiling it. So if you have not seen all of Season 5 of Power, I would recommend you don't watch this video. You go watch Season 5 of Power, then you come back and we'll shoot the shit. Deal? So Season 5 of Power doesn't take place that much longer after Season 4. If you remember the end of Season 4, a whole bunch of crazy shit happened. Raina ended up getting shot by Ray Ray because she got mixed up in the middle of some kind of conflict between Ray Ray and Tariq. Tariq, who was introduced to Ray Ray and his crew by Dre and Kanan. And then Tariq ended up tracking down Ray Ray and shooting him before Tasha and Ghost could stop him. And Angie, she helped tell them where Ray Ray was, so that essentially makes her an accomplice after the fact, or I guess before the fact, or before and after the fact. You guys know what I'm saying. So at the end of last season, Ghost and Tasha had to try to protect their son. They have to try to cover up the murder of Ray Ray. Angie, I mean, she works for the DA's office, right? She's the assistant DA, so she has to investigate the shit. And that sets up Season 5 to deal with all the aftermath and the implications of everything that happened at the end of Season 4, including the other thing, which was Dre kind of low-key, no, high-key, taking Tommy's entire organization away from him. So at the beginning of Season 5, you also have Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan teaming up to try to take out Dre. Kanan should be a mortal enemy, but he's not anymore because he helped save Tariq's life because he actually does give a shit about the kid. Of course, it being Kanan, Kanan has his own ulterior motives. He's trying to help them, but they're also helping him out with some shit that he's doing. You got the investigation into Ray Ray's death that the DA's office is pushing. The investigation eventually starts to center around Angie and her relationship with James St. Patrick, aka Ghost. All of this being done to protect Tariq. Tariq, who has to go to a new school this season, who also has to try to learn the game from Kanan, who kind of takes him under his wing as a mentor, just like he did his father. Also the scheme to try to take out Dre, because Dre, again, took Tommy's organization, and now he's under the protection of the Jimenez, and so that's what Season 5 pretty much revolves around. All these different plot points kind of segueing and overlapping into each other, leading up to a breathtaking finale that I literally was on the edge of my seat for. I thought something was said at the beginning of Season 5 that kind of appropriately summed up everything that happened in Season 5 and really delved into the why of all the characters this season. Ghost and Tasha are making speeches at Raina's funeral, and Tasha says something kind of profound. She says we're all to blame for this. Like, this is everybody's fault. Nobody is innocent in all this. That is a concept that the season, I feel like, definitely explores in detail, because when you look at all of these characters, all of them are incredibly flawed people, man. All these people have something wrong with them. The only thing for you as an audience member is, do the positives outweigh the flaws? Can you live with them? Can you tolerate them? Do their flaws make them an unlikable character? Tasha's right. Everything that happened to Raina, I mean, sure, it's mostly Tariq's fault, if we're being honest. Outside of Tariq, there's obviously a lot of people that played a part in Raina's death, intentionally or unintentionally. You got Dre, you got Kanan. Ghost and Tasha, as parents, have to take some kind of culpability, I suppose. That's what the season really explores, is how they're all dealing with the death of Raina, how they're all trying to move on with their lives. Obviously, Ghost and Tasha have the toughest time dealing with all of this because they're parents and they just lost their baby girl. Tasha at least does try to deal with this shit head on, and she does try to deal with it with Ghost, but Ghost, in this season, he's slipping a little bit. I'm just going to say that. He's usually a guy who's in control of himself. He's a guy that's in control of his surroundings and his situation. He's a smart motherfucker. In this season, the dude is slipping. The dude makes a lot of mistakes in the early part of the season. His idea of dealing with Raina's death is really not dealing with it at all. It's really just, he starts drinking a lot. He starts falling off the wagon. He starts having angry public outbursts. Even when it comes to his business arrangement with Lorenz Take, who's kind of like a snake oil salesman, he starts messing up with a lot of things. He makes it easier for Tate to start looking for other options to replace him or to remove him from the Queen's Child project that they discussed last season. He gets it figured out. He has an episode where he talks to a priest, and the priest is kind of like, yeah, what's up, what you want? And then Ghost is like, I want to be a better man. After that, he starts trying to get back with Angie, and you can tell that they're trying to rekindle their relationship, whatever it is. I don't know. I feel like there was something sloppily handled with the Ghost character arc in this season. I feel like, okay, he started self-destructing for the first 5 episodes or so, and then he had the episode where he had an epiphany where he's like, I want to be a better man. Then he and Angie started trying to get back together, and they did fuck for like the first time in, I don't know, a season and a half, I guess. He even tries to fix things up with Dre. Granted, it could be just a power play on Ghost's part where he's trying to get close to Dre so he can let his guard down so that they could take him out or set him up in some way. Because, again, Dre is under the protection of the Jimenez, and that made it really difficult for Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan to take out Dre early on in the season. Granted, they did get close, at least on one occasion, where they hired some hitters, some Italian hitters, to try to take out Dre, but because Tariq is a bitch, he kind of let slip to Dre like, hey, you know, people are coming to kill you. And as a result, it kind of ruined the whole plan. Speaking of Tariq, I mean, I still hate his guts. I'm still on my fuck Tariq hashtag, but at the same time, I do understand where they're going with his character. Now you can totally see that Tariq is trying to follow in the footsteps of his father. He's basically trying to become the next Ghost, and that's essentially where the series is headed. They're trying to turn Tariq into Ghost 2.0. He even says to Ghost at one point late in the season after Kanan dies, he's like, teach me the fucking game, Ghost. And Ghost is like, boy, I'd rather kill you than to let you get into this game. You guys know the Ghost has been trying to get out of the game for years. Every time he tries to get out, something pulls him back in, and he doesn't want that life for Tariq. But Tariq's gonna do what Tariq's gonna do. I can't gloss over Kanan's death. Like I said, Kanan had his own agenda. He had his own motives. He's actually trying to get the rest of Tommy's organization, turn it into his own. He's trying to get back in the game. Simultaneously, while Kanan is doing all of that, he's trying to teach Tariq the ways of the game, and at the same time have an interesting conversation with Kendrick Lamar is a crackhead. I remember the timelines on Twitter and Facebook were going crazy when it was found out that Kendrick Lamar was going to be a crackhead in the show. And listen, I don't know how expansive his role would have been or should have been or could have been. Obviously, they only wrote him for the one episode. I think we could have used a little bit more Kendrick Lamar crackhead. I don't know why, but he was entertaining while he was on screen, and I wouldn't have minded seeing more of him. Not to gloss over Kanan's death, Kanan eventually gets set up by Tariq and Tasha to take the fall for the gun that was supposed to have killed Ray or something. Ghost, of course, had nothing to do with this because he didn't want to set up Kanan. He wanted to set up Dre, but Tariq and Tasha didn't tell him about this, and so it led to a shootout with the police, and Kanan ended up getting shot and killed. Kanan's kind of a piece of shit. You don't really feel that bad about him being gone, but 50 Cent has been a huge part of the show from the beginning. He's produced the show, so you just kind of wonder, damn, there's no power without Kanan. I don't know, it's odd. It's weird. Speaking of characters that go through kind of dumb character arcs, you have Tommy, and Tommy in this season tries to reconnect with his father because Tommy Teresi is able to get let out of prison because he makes a deal with the DA's office or something that if he snitches on Ghost and Tommy, he'll be able to walk free. He gets out of prison, and then he starts rekindling and rebuilding some relationship with Tommy, and you can tell that Tommy starts to get in his feelings about it. He starts to share information with Teresa. He's not really thinking clearly. Ghost, of course, knows that this guy can't be trusted, but after Kanan's death, Tommy and Ghost were kind of because Tommy was like, I don't know that you wouldn't set up Kanan to die, Ghost. I just can't trust that you wouldn't do something like that. Long story short, Ghost eventually does find out that Teresi is a snitch for the feds. He ends up bringing the information to the Italians, who end up telling Tommy, who ends up killing his father. This sets off a chain reaction of events that eventually leads to Tommy trying to kill Ghost, or maybe he was trying to kill Angie. I don't know. It's kind of ambiguous at the end there, but the point is, the season literally ends with Ghost holding Angie in his arms, and she's dead or dying. That was the holy shit moment, and again, at first I was like, okay, was he trying to hit Ghost? Was he trying to kill Ghost? We've been through this before. We have had moments where Tommy tried to kill Ghost before, like a few seasons ago, and he just couldn't because that's his brother. Like, they grew up. Blood couldn't make them any closer. Definitely this season you could see that the relationship between Ghost and Tommy, for a lot of different reasons, is on the rocks. Like, it's probably shakier than it's ever been before. Keisha and Tommy get back together in this season, and Keisha kind of helps get into his head a little bit towards the end, so that probably pushed and motivated him to do it because Tommy found out that Teresi wasn't going to snitch on him. He was going to snitch on Ghost. My thing with Tommy is, I'm like, first of all, Tommy, it's kind of dumb to just allow your father back into your life and just trust him with all of your day-to-day operations like that. Like, you slipping, bro. Like, that's just kind of dumb. You got to be smarter than that. Putting all that aside, you do eventually find out that, yes, Ghost set you up to kill your father, but bro, he was going to snitch on Ghost. Are you saying that you would have been cool with him snitching on Ghost? Is that what you're telling me? As far as Ghost not telling you about it, come on, man. You just accused him of killing Kanan. Why the hell would Ghost bring this information to you, knowing that you more than likely would not believe him? I don't know. I love Tommy. I like the fact that him and Keisha are back together and everything, but I don't know. I feel like Tommy was making more dumb mistakes than usual this season. He was about to make a mistake too when he was about to pop Keisha's fine ass. You remember that episode towards the end where he's reaching for his gun, he's talking to Keisha on the couch, he's like, so, are you in it to win it? Like, are you on our team? Are you ride or die? Say the word, not kill you. bitch. He doesn't actually say that, but again, we see him reaching for the gun, and Keisha's just kind of like, I don't know if I'm down with all this, and I'm just like, Keisha, you know the right thing. This boy killed Holly. Please don't kill Keisha. Please don't kill Keisha's fine ass. Luckily, she says the right thing, and she doesn't get killed, so I guess that's a good thing, but I'm just saying, like, shit got dicey there for a second. Outside of that, I feel like this season really did test everyone's loyalties in different ways. It tested Tasha, it tested Tariq, it tested Kanan, it tested Proctor. Proctor and his relationship with Ghost was definitely tested. You get to see a little bit more about Proctor and his family, his ex-wife, his daughter that he's trying to look after. Definitely towards the finale, Angie's loyalty to Ghost gets tested, and you really do find out that if Angie is really ride or die with Ghost. She passed the test. What can I say? Of course, she passed the test, and now she's dead, so yay, you got an A. Dre kind of went through the ups and downs of being a boss and dealing with the Jimenez and also dealing with Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan trying to take him out at different points. Dre needs to die, okay? It's about time for Dre to die. It's been a few seasons. He's about to become the Black Mike Sandoval. Like, Mike Sandoval's snitch ass somehow lives for 3 seasons, and we're like, damn, can this dude just fucking die? He needs to die. Dre, it's time. It's just time for Dre to die. I'm tired of people turning into stormtroopers whenever they have an opportunity to kill Dre. I feel like this season of Power definitely explored the flaws of the character deeper than some of the other seasons have. It definitely explored the fallout from Raina's death, and it definitely made for some pretty interesting storytelling. Some characters made some weird decisions. There were some rushed character arcs. There were some things I didn't like about the season overall. Season 5 of Power was really solid. I'm not going to go too high or too low. I'm going to give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 supers. Those are my big, huge, sprawling thoughts on Season 5 of Power. Tell me what were your favorite moments of the season, and tell me what your favorite season of Power is if you're a fan of the show. Like and subscribe to the Superfan Show, and as always, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.
I never took a straight path nowhere. Life's full of twists and turns, bumps and bruises. I live, I learn. I'm from that city full